right, here we go. Tonight on Square Dance Callers Talking, I have Piet Walhout from Amsterdam. He's going to tell you where and probably how to pronounce his first name a little bit better than I did. I'm back in the studio, so we're going to have one of our podcasts tonight. We're going to talk about Piet and where he is and what he's been doing with Square Dance. And how are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
I'm doing very well. Now, you said that it's Piet with a short E. Tell me how to say your name so everybody else can hear it the correct way.
Well, the correct way is Piet Walhout,
Okay.
but when you call me Piet, it's okay because it's pronounced the same and everybody understands it. So there's no problem at all.
Now, when we were talking, I can't pronounce it, but you're in Amsterdam. Tell me where you live.
Well, I'm not living in Amsterdam. I'm living in Apeldoorn. It's about an hour drive east from Amsterdam. When you're
Okay.
going from Amsterdam straight to the east, you will pass Apeldoorn. So, but most people know only Amsterdam, so it's no not that big deal.
Yeah, I just know the name. I couldn't point at it on a map, but I know the name Amsterdam. That's why it kind of pulled me that way. So
Yeah.
I got you. So now, before we get into the square dance stuff, were you born and raised there? Where did you grow up and everything?
Well, I was born and raised in Flushing, in the southeast of the Netherlands. And I moved through Apeldoorn a couple of years ago because of my job. I'm living here together with my girlfriend Miriam. She's dancing as well,
Okay.
and well, it's not my first wife. So we have both we have two kids, and well, they we have a very lucky situation that the kids like each other as well.
That's
So
good.
that's great. Unless they are living about 2 hours drive from each other, so they don't see each other as much as we like to do.
Okay.
And well, my kids living in Flushing still, and yeah, that's for here it's a two and a half hour drive, so I don't see them that much. But well, I know that, and it's okay.
Now, does any of the other family dance or anything, square dance or anything?
Well, my wife is dancing, and both my kids learned it, and my son can do it, but he doesn't do that. But my girl, yeah, well, she's dancing when she can, uh, and that's probably 3 4 times a year that she has the possibility to dance.
Gotcha.
So and then she will.
All right. Well, let me tell. We'll start with this. How long have you been dancing? When did you start dancing yourself?
Well, I started dancing in, I would think it was in 89, 1989. I saw a demonstration on a country and western festival, and the audience had a chance to dance with them like the first lessons in an open house. And well, I took that opportunity, and well, I liked it the way it went on. And when I came home with my first wife, and I said, well, I've seen that and that, and well, she wasn't that interested on that moment, but
Right.
then I saw some articles in the local newspaper, and they said, well, they have a demonstration of a local club. We even didn't know that there was a club, so we took over there, looked at it, and said, well, let's try it on an open house when they have it. And a couple of weeks later, they organized it, and we went there, danced with us, and that's how it started,
Okay.
and never ended till now.
So that was in '89. When did you decide to start calling?
I started calling in '93. I was dancing at the club at that moment, and the last night of the season was always a little bit of funny night. Uh, Little things to do different than normally. And a couple of weeks before the club callers asked, is somebody willing to do some calling
Nice.
on that particular night? I said, well, give me some records and I will try it. So I took some records from him and practiced. And that night, the last night of the season, I start my first calling. And yeah, well, I liked it, and then the dancers liked it to hear another voice. So the year up, I was dancing, of calling a little bit more, and so it went on. So it's well, 31 years ago.
Very nice. Now, so as long as when you started calling, do you remember that first couple of singing calls you did on the records?
Yeah. Um, it was Pirates and Poets,
Pirates and Poets.
and the other one, there was a second one. Uh, well, I got them both, but I can't remember that now. But I got them both, and sometimes I have think let's do it again.
Very nice.
It was another Square and Scholar. That was the other one.
Another square dance caller. Okay, I know that one. So when you started doing the singing calls, and I haven't really gotten into it with a lot of people early on, but I've thought about it. What got your interest? What kept you coming back? Was it the wanting to sing or the choreography? What did you like about square dance calling in the beginning?
Well, in the beginning, it was more fun. Let me try something, and I've enjoyed it that people uh, moved along about what I was calling, and it took me. I don't know exactly what it took, but it took me, and um, I liked it. That I was going to do something else than only the dancing,
Nice,
and the club members liked it that there was another crazy guy getting the microphone and doing some things.
nice.
So it was for them. It was, yeah, well, a new different voice, a new different way of calling that they heard. So and the big problem was in those days. It was in the Flushing area, and uh, it's really in the southwest of the Netherlands, and to be in the normal world, to say so, we have to drive about 3/4 to an hour for being somewhere in area that are more people, because it's real quite a way. And there weren't that much callers and dancers coming to the southwest. So it was nice for them that they can hear something
Absolutely.
else, someone else.
In those early years, who was working with you? Who was some of your influences? Some of your coaches, mentors? Who worked with you?
Well, my first mentor that was Rob Frazen, the club caller, of course. Um, and he, well, he tried to mentor me on the best way. We didn't have that much caller schools, and especially not in the Netherlands those days. So we had to do it by ourselves. And well, he was really the first mentor I got, and give me tips and tricks for doing that. And he let me call during the club nights for one or two tips. So I could practice that. And after that, when I got more calling, one of the biggest names from the Dutch callers, Martin Weyers, he was one of the real mentors, and he organized one or two local caller schools, to say so, which I attended. So, and he was more mentoring me afterwards because of the club caller retired from calling after a couple of years, so I could take over that club, but I just needed that mentoring still. So
Absolutely.
Martin took over, and well, we're still good calling friends and helping each other even with that.
That's a big part of it. The helping people, and if you could, I was lucky enough that I had a couple of callers that were starting out about the same time as me in my area, and so we talked a lot. And there was about 4 or 5 of us that all started at the same time, and there's 2 of us that are still going
Yeah,
consistently. And it's a lot of help. You learn, you figure out mistakes that others have made, and you're going to make them yourself at some point. And but that's the only way to go forward. So
yeah.
with the mentoring and all that, when did you get into the choreography, and how did you start working your way through choreography, finding corners and things like that?
Well, the first things we did was on nights so that the caller was making a setup and said, well, go ahead and find the way back.
Okay.
Um, so it was just learning on the job what I did in the first things, and well, that went well, and afterwards I can't say really from that on that moment I was going to be more interested in choreography or something like that. It 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 went along during the calling and the ways I had. The biggest problem, what I always said, was we didn't have callers in our area, so there wasn't that much opportunity, even in those days with a lack of the modern technology. We didn't get that much involved with each other. So I had to do it a lot of by myself, and um, I having a lot of things done on looking on YouTube and etc. For at callers who were calling on a little film, and I learned a lot of that, and yeah, later on when I had the opportunity, I went to some color schools, and then yeah, then you have then you can learn a little more.
It's not the easiest way, I'm sure. All through it, I've been going to caller schools and all that, but having to figure it out on your own, there's something to that. Something
Yeah,
sticks a little more when you have to figure it out and find ways, as opposed to somebody just telling you, "Hey, do it this way." So
yeah.
a lot of respect on that, man. That's impressive that you can do some of that on your own. Um, if there's anything you could do differently in the beginning, would you do it differently?
Yeah, I will. um, it's comparing to nowadays that we have a lot of more contact with each other by the technology and etc. Um, yeah, I would have done more, could have done more in having contact with other callers and talk with them, dance on them, and etc. It could really help me a lot of that. And the second part, and I think that's uh, not as what you can do as a caller, but what you can do as a club is give the caller, the new caller, the student caller, however you name it, give him or her the chance to call, because the only way you can really learn it is by doing it and learning from your own mistakes, and when you have a mentor, then you can then they can say, well, look at this, look at that. But a big problem could be that clubs are not willing to help you callers in their development.
Yeah, we've got so there's a little bit of that here and there in the states. Most people, most clubs, other callers will put you up and give you opportunities, but you really
Yeah,
need um, more than just doing a tip here and there. Because I did that for years, and it's tough to get better um, when you're practicing at home by yourself. You know what I mean? You can
yeah,
sit there and work it out on paper, but it's a lot different when you've got moving parts, the people in front of you. Um, so yeah, that's big. That let clubs come out and have all other callers just get the practice in. I saw a huge difference in myself once I got a club and I got to call regular during the month and everything like that. So that's good stuff. What what levels do you dance and call to?
I'm calling up to plus, and I'm dancing up to A2.
Okay.
And I'm willing to. I'm trying to go to calling up to A1 because here in the Netherlands we have only three callers left, uh, and one is retiring in a couple of years. And yeah, well, we have we have to have some new of some people, some callers who are going to fill in some legs. And well, with trying to call that, I'm hoping to get a leg filled in.
Yeah, you definitely that I didn't think about it that way, but CALLERLAB has really put a lot of emphasis on getting new callers, younger callers, um, because that will bring more dancers in. I never thought of it in that light that it would bring more dancers, but it makes sense. You know, if you've got a young caller or a new caller and they've got a handful of friends that, you know, hey, what are you doing? And you tell them, maybe they learn to dance and we start building the number of dancers back up just based on getting new callers. Because I mean,
Yeah,
I, most of my friends are my age or older than me when it comes to calling, and you need the young people in there just because it's new, fresh eyes looking at it for sure.
yeah.
Stuff. So do you have a club? You have clubs? What are you doing on a regular basis with your calling?
Well, I have a club here in the Netherlands, in Haarlem, the Tulip Twirlers. I'm calling every Wednesday evening there. Um, that's one of the few clubs who are left after COVID, etc. So um, we have the luck that we have the club there. Um, every second Sunday, I'm calling in Lingen in Germany for a club.
Okay.
Both are having the plus level for dancing. And together with two Belgian callers, I helping a Dutch club, the Rainbow Strollers, because they don't have a regular club caller. And we all three had something like, well, we really want to help you because you don't have club caller, but a lot of members, but we can't do that as a regular club together with our own clubs, and said, well, with the three of us, we can share the program on every month that we are doing that. And so I have to call there 2 or 3 times a year for filling up together with the other callers the gap of the club caller. And well, I'm invited a couple of times a year for having some club evenings for unregular clubs who are dancing just 3 4 times a year. And that's what I'm doing on a regular base with calling.
It's a good level, a good amount of calling. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Have you traveled much in the years with calling, or do you just call generally where you live?
Well, I have to travel because of what I said. We have that not that number of clubs in the Netherlands left, and so I have to travel for that, and I'm uh, traveling more for dancing than I'm doing for calling. Uh, when they ask me and I have to travel for calling a night, it's okay with me, or for an event, it's okay, no problem. But the most traveling I do is for dancing, and then I'm going through just big parts of Germany. Uh, in Holland and Belgium, we don't have that much events anymore because of the lack of the clubs, and because of the dancers who are, yeah, let's say, tired to organize
Uh,
things. So we have to travel for that. But yeah, we know that it takes some time, but it gives us back the friendship and the energy for doing that.
it's there's parts of the United States that it's been quicker to start growing back, slower in some parts. It just depends on where you are. And I think it has a lot to do with the dancers, sure, but the callers. Because I mean, I'm always pushing, trying to get something else going, another weekend, another, another club or another dance. Um, so you really got to go out there and work. Used to, it wasn't like that before. I could dance 6 nights a week in where I live at different clubs, and now, on the weekends, that's about it. It's just because there's not much out there anymore. Let's see. So, have you ever come to the States for calling or just vacation or anything?
No, I've never been overseas,
Never
so
been.
you
Okay.
call that.
Okay.
But I think that's no problem for me because I think in Europe we have a lot of opportunities to go anywhere and making some friends and doing dancing and calling. So no, I didn't have the opportunity, and it's not really on my bucket list to say so.
Okay. Okay.
I'm fine to be here in Europe and especially the western and northern part of Europe to be there.
Well, if you ever do get to this to the United States, let me know. We'll certainly put something together for you. That'd be great. Um,
No problem.
that would be outstanding to have you come over and call some for some of the dancers over here. I tell the dancers whenever I'm at my club or I go to somewhere else, you got to get out. You got to dance to different callers.
Yeah,
Because me saying square through four will sound different than somebody saying square through four from, another club, much less another state, another country, whatever.
yeah,
So great
yeah. That's right.
to.
We
Before I
we, we
forget to, what's that?
I saw that yesterday evening. We had our 20th anniversary of our German club, and then we had a little special event of it, and we had some students dancing there, and it was really the first time they were on a special dance and with another caller, and I talked to them, and they said to me, well, the first tip I danced on him, I was really thinking from what is he doing? What is he calling? What? Because yeah, they were used to do the way I'm calling. And afterwards, after the dance, they came to me and said, "Well, that was a wonderful time we had with another caller, doing other things, and we compare it most of the time with having your driver's license." When you're at the club and you're starting a class and having your graduation, then it's the same to have your driver's license. You know how to drive, you know how to dance, you know the calls, you know how to use your car, but learning to drive is going away, and that's with dance to going away from your own club is learning to dance, and then that's yeah, that's the comparison I'm always making to my dancers, and they don't believe me till they see what's going on.
I love that. That's a great comparison. I've never thought of it that way. I'm going to use that. That's good stuff. Very
No
nice.
problem. You're welcome.
What at the levels you call and dance, do you have a favorite call out of any of them?
Favorite call or caller?
Favorite call?
No, no, no. I don't have really a favorite call. I like to do all the calls, but more in the extended way. That that
Okay.
that that that's the way I like it. Doing not the standard formations, not the standards, but doing it just a little bit more on the extended way. And well, there aren't calls you can do that with, but I I'm not having a favorite call for calling or dancing.
Okay.
It's and so
Yes.
yeah, well, it's the way they dance it. That's more from okay, we do it extended, and hey, I see that they're doing it great, and then I have real fun of it because hey, they're doing it.
Do you have a favorite singing? Well, I won't ask you for one, but do you have any favorite singing calls that you just like to do more than others?
Well, there are a couple of. Uh, One of them is Daniel from Royal. Um, it's I think it's already a great song about and well, yeah, I can see a part of the song, the original song. um, when I hear that, I really know what the meaning of that song is.
Okay.
And that's one of the things I said, yeah. um, a couple of years ago, during the COVID, and it was a funny thing. We were in a Zoom sessions every week or every 2 weeks with a couple of German callers. And at one night, I made the gesture of writing down five calls you are doing the most of, what you are doing five of your most favorite singing calls, and tell us why. And after that, they looked at their own playlists and said, well, those singing calls are I'm doing the most of the time during dances. And then they were going through the list and said, well, all the all the titles of the calls are something to do with my life. And that was just so funny funny. It was nice to see that your life and the music are came together with what you're doing. And well, that's one of the things I like, and that I see, well, that are real favorite singing calls of what you're doing, singing songs.
Well, now, if you're not listening, a little bit about you personally. If you're not listening to square dance music or whatever, what's your what kind of music do you like, just in general?
uh it's all kind of music. It just depends on my state of mind, my mood. I just like to listen to, well, the some country rock music, but also the how we call it, the neder pop, the Dutch pop music. Um, well, it just depends on the mood. I don't have really a favorite kind of music, but um, well, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
not too hard,
Yeah.
not the heavy metal songs, not the real old classic music, but, well, what I said, it depends on the mood I have.
Okay.
And,
Favorite singer, favorite groups, or anything?
well, I've got a favorite group, and it's only well known in my area. Well, not even in my area. It's well known with a little group of people. It's called Seven Bridges.
Seven
It's
Bridges.
it's yeah, it's really a local group. It's got some progressive rock music. Um, but really, when I told it here in the Netherlands, that I think that maybe one man is ever heard of that group. But there are
I'm
some
gonna look
some
them up on
some
YouTube tonight. I'll look them up on YouTube.
well, yeah, there are some things on YouTube, yeah. Well, and real favorites now, it's more the music, which I'm preferring in my mood. And then, well, who the artist is, it's okay with me. It's about the music and what's the feeling with the music on that moment.
Okay. Makes sense. If you could call a dance anywhere, where would it be?
Oh, that's a hard one. uh, well, yeah, it could be anywhere. I think that doesn't mind that much where it is. I think it's more. what the atmosphere of the dance is, and can go on. It could be a special dance let's say last night 60 dancers. There were no more than 60 dancers, but it was great atmosphere and everybody was really having fun. And a couple of weeks ago, I've called it the European Convention, and there were over 1,000 dancers, and there was also a lot of fun and a great atmosphere. So I think that the most important part for me is that when I have to call somewhere, it's the atmosphere. The must be great, nice. The people having fun. I think that's more important than the place where it could be.
Okay. Now, where you live, where you're from in Call, do y'all have theme dances? You know what I mean by theme dances?
No, not what.
Say like we have like a, let's say, beach day theme where you want to do like
Oh, those.
that type of thing. We have a Jimmy Buffett dance where we do all Jimmy Buffett songs. Do y'all do dances like that, like theme dances?
There are a couple of theme dances, but we don't do that much. The most important thing for here in the Netherlands and the parts of Germany where I am is uh, that we want to dance. And yeah, there are a couple of clubs doing some team dances, mostly on their on their own nights.
Right.
They make it a special club night for it or something like that. Um, just like what you see with Halloween or Carnival or something
Yeah.
that they are doing that. But I'm not doing that on a base, and we don't see that here that much.
Gotcha.
And uh, well, it's okay if I have to do that, but I don't I don't have the drive to have some special dance, some
Sure.
theme dance. No, it's going about the dance and not about
Right.
the theme.
No, I was my some clubs around here do that. The club that I'm in, they like to do a lot of theme dances where it'd be like an '80s, and they just asked me to try and get a bunch of '80s music, and so I'll do that type of thing. And I've had one that wanted to do a '50s, and I'm like, buddy, I don't know if I can find '50s music that I want to try and do. Uh,
No,
uh, so
that's hard.
I didn't know how. I know it's from country to country, from state to state. Sometimes it's a lot different.
Yeah,
Now, your dances, because I've heard of a bunch of different ways. We typically dance over here in Georgia, where I'm at, mainstream and plus on a typical dance night. We don't dance it
yeah.
or anything over where I'm at. Do y'all do that, or do y'all just have mainstream dances plus dances? How do y'all do y'all's over there?
Well, the most clubs here are the regular clubs on basic and mainstream and plus. There are a couple of clubs they are doing a higher levels. We had here in the Netherlands a club who was doing A1 and A2, but due to COVID, it went down, it broke down. So we only have here the real opportunity only to dance to up to plus, and just 2 or 3 times a year with a couple of there with a couple of other dancers. We are doing an A1 A2 afternoon dancing, but we don't do that on regular basis anymore. And yeah, I can go dancing out to going to Germany for dancing for A1 and A2, but uh, it's mostly on a normal week and work day, and yeah, well, I have to travel then for at least an hour or an hour and a half. So
Wow.
it takes that lot of time
Yeah.
to go there, and yeah, sometimes they said you have to work the other day. So well, it isn't that much. I don't have that much opportunities to go dancing somewhere else. And during the weekends, we are already busy with dancing and so on. So uh, here in the Netherlands, we don't have that opportunity anymore, unfortunately.
Well, now for the rest of the year, what do you have coming up? Do you? I know Caller Lab has got their little mini convention in Germany in October. You going to try and go to that or no?
I'm not trying. I'm going.
You are going. Fantastic, fantastic.
Yeah, well, when I heard that that Walt Burr, who was on your sessions a couple of months ago, when I heard that he was organizing, I said, well, I'm going. Period. That's one of the opportunities we have to get in contact with CallLab, and as I'm a member of the International Advisory Committee of CallLab.
Okay, okay.
Well, that's of course then the biggest opportunity I can have to talk with CallLab, to say so. And I think it's important for a caller to go to such an opportunity, such an event, such an convention, how you name it, um, and talk with others. I'm a member of the ECTA, the European College and Teachers Association.
Okay.
It's and yeah, that's the ways to say, well, we can get and keep in contact with each other. So I think it's important for callers to be a member of any organization you can, and it does not have to be a call lab or in Europe ECTA. It could be also a regional association. But that's the way you can have those contacts. So um, when I heard it from well, call lab is coming to Europe to say so. I said, well, I'm going. That's a great opportunity to go to.
Fantastic. I did a last night. Teresa Berger, who's the executive with Caller Lab. She came through Georgia and we did a dance last night, and she was telling me about that. So they're really looking forward to coming over there and meeting everybody and getting some calling in and hearing y'all and all that. That's going to be fantastic. I would have loved to have gone, but I just, with the Caller Lab convention here next year, with that along with the Nationals, there's no way I could swing going to Germany right now. Hopefully, at some point, I can get over there to that side of the world. Maybe next year after I'm retired. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Well, man, have a
You
great
hope
time with that.
you hope I have to have any time when you're retired.
Yeah, not live a few more months, and then I'll be able to travel a little bit more. And so hopefully I'll get overseas a little bit. We'll see. We'll see. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
Oh, you're welcome.
I've met just through this podcast. I've met several people from Germany and different countries, and so I would love to go over and just dance for the most part. Sure, I'd love to call too, but I'd like to come over and just dance to some of these guys that I've talked to and only met through Zoom. Of course, Philip come from Germany. He comes over here. I met him on the cruise in February, and he's an awesome guy. We talk pretty regular on Facebook or on text or whatever. We're doing some other stuff with music. Awesome guy. Love to come over there and meet all y'all. Man, enjoy Caller Lab. Anything else you want to talk about yourself?
No, I think everything is said and done.
Okay, okay. We enjoy it. Like I say, you got the Caller Lab EC Executive Committee coming over. And all great people, friends of mine, all of them. And man, y'all are gonna have such a great time. I really wish I could be there, but
Yeah.
I'll throw the invitation out. If you can come over to Caller Lab, the 50th anniversary over here in South Carolina next year, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, I know, but we got. I think we got both the same problem.
It's not easy. It's not easy. Maybe some year down the road. Either I'll come over there, you'll come over here. I'll get to meet you in person. Pete, it has been my pleasure to talk to you, get to meet you tonight. and
Okay, thank you.
enjoy CALLERLAB in Germany. And
I will.
hopefully I'll see you somewhere down the road, whether it be here or over in the Netherlands.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been a pleasure, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Same to you.